Welcome back to another QuickFormational. I've gone through our massive list of different securities that we as a company try to adhere to and get all of our clients to adhere to what makes sense. But what else do MSPs do that's important? Well, one of those things is projects. You need a server replaced, you need network replaced. There are so many different things that MSPs can do and should do. So, for example, we talk with clients that are becoming CMMC compliant. Some of those things require new network switches or Wi-Fi access points. These are things that most MSPs do. What most MSPs don't necessarily do is look at the physical security of the client. Do they have access control lists to who can get into the door? Do they have guest sign-in sheets? Are they escorted? Are guests escorted around? Do they have video cameras monitoring each door, window, down the hall? What do you have in the way of compliance stuff that you need to maintain and need a project created for, right? Do you need a new server? How does that work? I mean, you replace one box with another and everything just magically goes from one place to the next? No. You need qualified engineers who are able to migrate your data from one place to the next safely, and more importantly, with it actually making its way there. Good MSPs are going to back up their original server. They're going to migrate the data. They're going to do a comparison. They'll probably break it into a number of phases. A good MSP plans it out and knows how long it's going to take. They may add a couple of hours of fluff in case something goes wrong because, hey, projects don't always go as to plan. Have you ever tried a construction project? You start digging your footers and all of a sudden you find out, hey, there's a big rock down there. Well, now all of a sudden you got to excavate that rock, maybe use dynamite to blow it up and get it into smaller chunks so you can get rid of it. And then you got to bring in more dirt. You got to roll over it, compact it back down so that you can get a footer into that place because God forbid the city lets you move your building 3 feet, right? But you see my point is projects can be very, very time consuming. They can also get really, really in depth and sometimes in a hurry. Some projects, we do them day in and day out, not a big deal. Other projects, you ask for something a little bit more creative and we've got to do a little bit of planning to make sure that it goes off without a hitch. But even at that, sometimes computers do little glitches and we find out after the fact that something glitched and we have to start from scratch, right? And so projects is a big deal. And this is part of what MSPs do is we help plan and execute the projects that you have in your IT infrastructure. But it may just not finalize at that. It may also include physical stuff that a lot of MSPs don't necessarily do. DVRs, NVR, cameras, motion sensors, etc. These are all nifty things that a lot of MSPs don't do. We got a call a few years ago from a mountain roller coaster and putt-putt golf course saying, hey, we're building this out. Can you help us put in sound effects that are motion activated? And we said, sure, we'll help you do whatever you need it to do. What do we have to do? Well, we had to come up with a way to make all that happen. And so that meant diving into some technology that we hadn't necessarily used in that format before. Actually, we had to get a few pieces of equipment that we'd never used before, but we made some good contacts over the years, and we were able to ask experts that do stuff like this what products they recommended. Now, setting it up was pretty easy, but knowing what products to use is an entirely different story. We had the connections to do it. Not everybody's got that capability of just making a few phone calls or sending a few emails and getting that, but with 7 degrees of separation, you can probably find somebody, right? Look, projects are important. And if you can't execute them smoothly, you're going to be in a lot of big trouble as an MSP. But as a client, you rely on that MSP to do it right and do it quickly without making any mistakes. Your data is too important to you to trust it to just anybody. So you're trying to find the best people you can to make that data get from one place to another, consolidate it. Any number of different project examples can be included in this, but they're all projects for us. and we've got to be able to complete them and make sure that they go off smoothly. So what is another thing that MSPs do? Projects. Again, Sean Pennington, Solomon IT, CEO. Hope you have a great weekend.